Hello, David Toller here with Supplemental Sound, and today I want to talk about sound system observations when I go into churches and look at their individual situations and sound system setup, or hear them talk about the problems that they have. This is a few observations that I have made going into several churches. Number one, it may be that you're having all these problems with feedback. The monitors are ringing. It may be that, we want to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, but it may be you just need somebody to come in and adjust your sound system. We've all experienced this because we all have volunteers in our small churches that handle the soundboard and the mixer and all, and it's just so easy, especially on an analog board, to get everything out of kilter, get the gain knob off, get the EQ every which way. I went to a church not too long ago, and somebody had turned on the mixer, had turned down the mids and the highs, and all they had was the lows turned all the way up. And so all you heard was the bottom end, the bass and so forth, but nothing on the top end. I was like, no wonder you can't hear anything. Somebody's turned down the highs and the mids. And so there's the spoken word, none of that could get through. So all it was simply is just to equal those out. And so a lot of things get out of adjustment because there's a lot that you need to start with. Number one, going through the audio signal chain from your microphone, number one, going through the wires, and then back to the mixer, probably through a snake. And you got it going through the snake and then to the mixer, and then you got all the knobs there in each individual channel. And then we're going to take it probably to maybe an effects rack or something, or EQ, and then we're going to take it out to an amp. And so there's just a lot of knobs and things that could get off that just ruin the whole thing. So I know what it feels like in a church to just be so frustrated about the sound system, because here's the thing. We've all experienced it. It's one of the biggest challenges, I guess, in a way that I've faced as a pastor myself, is to make sure that sound system right. And you know why? Because what is the product that churches are producing? We're producing the spoken word and song. All right. So if we don't have the spoken word, is not heard, it's not intelligible, it doesn't sound good, it's too loud, it's not loud enough, then it's not doing anybody any kind of good because they can't hear it. All right. So then again, with those singing, if all that's out, then what are we producing? We're the spoken word. So we need to be able to hear it. So probably you could I could come in, or somebody could come in and do an adjustment on your soundboard. And even if you have an analog system or a digital system, and I have a reference microphone I set up in the middle of the room, do EQ, and see what frequencies are getting out of bounds, so to speak, and to EQ the room to help with that. So probably I would start there. I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Maybe start with looking at, maybe I just need an adjustment on the sound system. Second, what I see in the churches I go into is I go in, install let's say a digital sound system, or even I'm not against an analog system. Not every small church needs a digital system. We'll talk about that in a later video. But the thing is, most of us are working off volunteers. Are they trained audio engineers? No, they're not. They're just willing people that are able, and they're just willing to go in there and volunteer. And they probably just got thrown in there like I did years ago and didn't know what I was doing. And because there was no one else willing, I wasn't much able, but that's how we learned the hard way. And I didn't understand everything about it, but I've done the best I can. I was just a volunteer, and we're thankful for the volunteers. But one of the things I'm noticing is it's hard to find somebody, a dedicated person, to hand this off to say, hey, I'm going to set this mixer up, this digital mixer. I'm going to set up this amp and adjust everything, but I need to find somebody that I can train and somebody I can hand this off to, because I'm not going to be there Sunday morning. I'm not going to be there Wednesday night or whenever you have your service. I'm here now, but I'm not going to be here to fix that problem when the time comes. So that is something also that is a major challenge. If you had somebody, all of us know, if you had somebody in the sound room, so to speak, for a long time, years and years, sometimes you got a lot of ownership issues there where people think, well, this is mine and this is the way I do it. They may be doing it wrong, and they don't know as much. They may just know a little bit about gain, a little bit about the faders, and that's just about it, mute and unmute. But beyond that, they don't know about compression or gates or equalizers or effects or anything else. But that's one of the things that I'm hoping in the future put together a course for small churches to run through each of those things that you could share with your volunteers and they could be trained. All right. So that's a biggie right there, finding somebody just dedicated to hand this off to, because a lot of times I'm standing there and think, who do I give this to? Who do I show this to? You got our volunteers. All right. Number 3, some equipment may need to be updated or repaired. Now, I know that the temptation is with the frustration is, you say our sound system is just terrible. Okay, it's just awful. And you want to go in there and rip it all out and toss it in the dumpster and get rid of it or sell it, whatever, because you feel like everything is just, you get rid of it. I'll tell you something that'll change your mind on that real quick, and that is this right here. I was in a church a while back and they were talking about that very thing. We want to just rip everything out, take the snake out, the wall, just get rid of just start over, new monitors, new mains, new mixer, new amps, new racks, everything. Get rid of all of it. And what'll change your mind real quick is this right here, money. Because it's going to cost you astronomical prices to do that. Now you got between 15 and 25,000 to work with for the equipment, then go for it. And that's if you have it drop shipped to your house, bring it to your house, and you install it, and not with me installing it or adding any type of labor. So I'll probably change your mind anyway. But really, probably all you need is there's just some equipment outdated. You say, I got an old amp. Well, is it working? I mean, an amp, it's just like anything else. Perhaps it's made years ago, better quality. I mean, if it's working, you don't need to replace. Maybe we can just upgrade the mixer or just upgrade and get you a power conditioner, take out the surge protector that I see a lot. And that would be my suggestion as well, is not, you may want to toss everything out, but you're going to find it real quick it's going to add up big, and then you probably correct your problem by just some equipment being repaired or updated would be my suggestion. Fourthly is, this is a big one I'm seeing. This could correct probably a lot of problems. Are we using the audio equipment properly? You'd be surprised. I had a church call me, pulpit mic's just not working. Every other mic in the church is working, but the pulpit's not working. Well, what do we go to? We go to this. We got to rip it all out. We got to replace the microphone on the pulpit, new wire going there, when really all it was a condenser microphone, and a condenser microphone requires 48-volt phantom power that, depending on your mixer, is turned on an individual channel, or in this case, on the back of that Mackie mixer, was on the back. Flipped a switch. Guess what? There was nothing wrong with the equipment. There was something wrong with using it properly. Easy fix. Easy fix. Would you like me to come all the way down just so you turn on phantom power, just flip a switch, and all of a sudden it works? That may be your issue as well. Microphones. I didn't know much about microphones either, but with our churches, we got dynamic microphones. It'd be a handheld vocal microphone, or for the speaker, if you're holding it down at your waist, or you're holding it off to the side and you're not holding it close to your mouth, it's not going to pick up. There's nothing wrong with the mic. It's not being used properly. If it's a condenser mic and you say, I'm getting a lot of feedback, well, it's because you got your monitors there, right there, your stage wedge monitors more than likely, and you've got it turned up too much and you're getting a feedback loop through those. So you got use your equipment properly, dynamic, know your different microphones. You know, in your choir, you're gonna get feedback there. Going back to the mixer, you say, well, none of it's working. All I can hear is a little bass, like I was telling you about earlier. Well, somebody's turned the EQ down. I mean, they've basically turned it off, the mids, the highs, or maybe it's that 48-volt phantom power, something simple. It could be, as I've seen in some cases, a faulty microphone wire or cable, or maybe it's just you need new speaker cables, was the case of our church, running brand new speaker cables from front to back. Nothing wrong with the speakers. The wires were not correct. So we switched those out, don't have any problems anymore. Didn't have to rip out everything. We was able just to replace the speaker wires, and it corrected the problem. So these are some things, some observations I've made going in various churches. Number one, you probably just need an adjustment. It wouldn't hurt anyway to do that every once in a while on your sound system, or get look at it. You know, look in the description of this video, and you can schedule a consultation with me. We can talk about your individual situation. Volunteers trained, that's a big one. We'll have that course come out later. Be sure, you know, be a good idea to, you know, purchase that through your church and offer it to your volunteers for free, since they're volunteering. All right. And then they need to be trained. And that's one of the purposes of this channel for small church sound solutions. And then probably some of your equipment, you know, needs to be updated, repaired, not the whole thing. I mean, if you got the money, you got a donation or something, you just want to redo the whole thing, knock yourself out. But I mean, it's not necessary in the situations I've seen. If you got some things there to work with, you got some good microphones, you got a good amp, you got, you know, some things to work with, there's no need to replace them. They're doing their job. And then using the equipment, audio equipment properly is a big one as well. Could be just something simple. Well, take these, let me know, look in the description below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And let me know in the comments if you got any more ideas for me you'd like me to do a video when it comes to small church sound solutions. In the meantime, here's some observations that I've seen. We'll see you in the next video.